One day a little girl was sitting on her doorsteps, and an ambulance drove up to her house, and they went in and got her mother. And as they came out, the father walked slowly behind her mother. The mother reached over and kissed the little girl. And she said, "I'm going away, but I'll be back after a while." The father looked down at the little girl and he said, "I want you to sit here on these steps until I come back." And after a while, along about sundown, the father came up the streets with his head bowed down. And the little girl saw him coming, and she ran to meet him. And when she got to him, she said, "Father, where is mother?" The father just stood there, and the tears began to fall down. She said it again. She said, "Father, where's my mother?" The father looked at the little girl, and he hated to break the bad news to her, but this is what he told her. He said, "A little while ago, your mother went to heaven." The little girl stood there, so broken-hearted she didn't know what to do. But some words came to her, and she began to say these things. And this is what she said. How far is heaven? She said, "I want to know. She said, "The reason why I want to know is my mother. And I want to go." Well, the father had to give the little girl a little answer. He didn't know what to say right then. But as he kept on walking toward the house, he thought of something to say. And these are the words that he told her. And this is what he said. "You can't go by airplane. You can't go by train. He said, "You got to wait until the Savior." One of these old days, call your name. A few days later, the little girl was on her way to school. And when she walked up to the corner, she saw the Hertzville as they drove up there. And it had somebody's body in it on their way to the graveyard. And just before it pulled off, she said, "I believe I'll send a message to my mother." And this is what she said.